Hello, everyone. Welcome to Snap Take. It is release day for Kitty Pryde. Kitty Pryde is a 1/0. You can return this to your hand to gain +2 power, which means by the end of the game, she becomes a 6/10. That's fantastic if you can afford to play her every turn. So, how do we use Kitty? What's the plan? Well, I've got 3 decks for you to take a look at if you get Kitty Pryde, no matter where you are on your Marvel Snap journey. Okay, let's start with. Oops, never mind. Let's start with the giveaway. Are you getting next season pass? Do you want Hitmonkey? Hitmonkey works great with Kitty. Well, this Friday, I'll be away next week, even though you're still getting videos. This Friday, I'm giving away 2 season passes. You have to follow me on Twitter at SnapJudgeCast, and you have to subscribe on YouTube right here. Make sure you do those 2 things. The actual way to win will be announced over on Twitter later in the week. All right, what do we have here for Kitty Pryde? First thing we have is Kitty herself. This is the Jeff Hoogland deck. Jeff Hoogland hit Infinite with this, and then several other streamers, I believe Freddy Babes with a different version of this, managed to hit Infinite too. This is fundamentally the same deck, except it adds Kitty Pryde. Kitty provides her own bounce, with Beast being able to do that bounce for free. Seems really, really powerful. All of that synergizes with cards like Bishop. That synergizes with making Angela more powerful, and all of these control effects that you're bouncing, Korg, Iceman, Black Widow, so on, create a really, really strong board state. The idea is that you're fundamentally actually winning with Bishop and Darkhawk. But by the end of the game, as you're playing all these cards, your Darkhawk should be fairly big. We're saying 412-ish, based on your multiple Korgs and your multiple Black Widows. Your Bishop should be like a 3/7, 3/8, really strong. If you can add a 0/8, 0/10 to that, then you have a crazy powerful combo. This deck's going to take a lot of planning, but Kitty Pryde fits in like a glove. Okay. You are late on your Marvel Snap journey, friends. If you are very late on your Marvel Snap journey, here's a deck that even I can't make. This is the expensive Kitty. It is a Lockjaw deck. I think this deck should actually work really well. Your goal is to try and get Lockjaw out and throw Wasp or Sunspot or Moon Knight into it. Ideally, that gets you a Kitty Pryde. If it does, you can start bouncing her immediately. Everything in the deck that you intend on playing, you're probably not playing America. She's just there for consistency. Has the ability to be relatively cheap outside of your turn 5 play when you would like to play Black Bolt or Red Skull. Saving energy, so on, should make everything else work extremely powerfully. So let's take a look at some of the plays this deck has. If you can get Lockjaw and Moon Knight out, your stature as a 1/7 allows you to have plenty of extra mana to soak with both Sunspot and play Kitty. Seems like that's pretty good. If you can Black Bolt, that last turn stature gives you extra mana to play Kitty as well. Black Bolt could also conceivably come out through Lockjaw, making him cheaper than his Scene 5. You'd like to get many a thing into Lockjaw, so having Vision and Kitty be able to get out of that lane is extremely powerful. Thanos taught us all that. And should you have trouble, you've also got Shuri and Red Skull, just as a nice big guy plan. I could easily see Red Skull being Taskmaster here, but I don't love Taskmaster with Lockjaw. And I think the Lockjaw synergy on top of Kitty is really good. Kitty is very rarely going to be a 10 in this deck, but even a 1/6, a 1/8 is going to provide you an awful lot of value. And her ability to move in and out of your hand, creating space, creating extra power as necessary, being able to be played where needed is going to be huge. I think this deck is going to be sick. This is what I would do if I had both Kitty, which I obviously don't yet, and Stature. If you have these cards, try it out. Let me know how it goes. I think that this deck is going to be absolutely devastating. All right. This is the last deck. This is our most pool 3, obviously, sans Kitty, friendly of the decks. It's got Shuri still. Sorry. You can technically cut Shuri for, about 1,000 cards. But one of my rules is when I can run Shuri, I run Shuri. This is almost a zoo deck. Um, the idea here is to play a bunch of ones, Kitty included, and pick them up with Beast. Play Kitty every turn, collect power on Sunspot every turn, get ready, and then double them as soon as you can. On the last turn, if you can play an expensive Kitty, a nice extra hood, you've been gathering power on that Sunspot, you've played all these cards into Angela, you've got a lot of power. Now, Carnage is here just to take care of that hood, but there is a prevalence of junk decks in the meta, and having an answer for those isn't bad. Goose is here because Shuri Red Skull is annoying. They can potentially go over the top, but not in that location. And Zabu is here because the ability to Moon Girl into Shuri, or have double Shuri in that case, is extraordinarily powerful. I strongly debated Quinjet in this deck. I'm not sure if Quinjet is right or not, but my argument against is that if she can't make things 0, then all these extra 1s are probably not worth it unless I see Beast in the first place. And that makes my hand space very complicated. So the ideal play pattern is you bounce Kitty Sunspot over Angela over and over again. You make sure you have a demon in hand. On 4 Human Girl, then you skip. You can double She-Hulk, double Kitty, double Hood, double Titania as you're collecting power on Sunspot. Should be extremely powerful, win a lot of games. This is my favorite of the decks. If I got Kitty, this is the first one I would put it into. I think this is going to be super duper sweet. Shuri is, I believe, going down to pool 3 in the next patch. So if you're grabbing her now, that's awesome. But you should be able to get her at relatively soon if you don't have her. Zabu will be longer, so hopefully you got him when he was probably the best card ever printed in the game for a little while. You can, again, build this deck just fine without Shuri and Zabu. That would just be, let's say, a Lizard in the Zabu spot, and probably something like a Bishop in that Shuri spot, and this deck should work just fine. Also acceptable, again, Quinjet. All right, that's what I would do with Kitty Pryde, Marvel Snap's newest card. Like and sub, follow on Twitter at SnapJudgeCast, and win a free season pass. See you tomorrow for a pool 3 deck that you can hit infinite with.